Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us with the Business Women of DeSoto. I'm Jill Santibanez, and look who we have today.
I'm Toni Lepeska with the Daily Memphian.
I'm so excited to have you here today, and you've accomplished so much, and you're actually a Mississippi resident, and you have been a Mississippi resident for quite some time now. You went to college in Mississippi.
I did.
And that's actually where you found your love for writing for newspapers. Is that right?
I did indeed.
Yeah.
I grew up in Marshall County.
Okay.
Mississippi.
Yeah, which is right outside DeSoto County. It's like we're neighbors, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you write for DeSoto County, so strictly for DeSoto County, and that's a big job because it's only you, right?
It's just me. I can't get around to all the board meetings, but I cover board meetings. I love to do feature stories, though I've been so busy I haven't gotten to do many of them.
Right. Well, what's coming up? I know you have a couple stories that you're going to be writing soon.
Yeah, the big spring cleanup. The county is making a push for everybody to get their, old furniture or anything that they want to get rid of. They're having dumpsters out, 14 dumpsters across the county, for people to stuff their stuff in.
How wonderful that everybody's kind of pulling together to make this happen. And it is important to keep your city clean, and it's important to keep your streets clean, and so many things, and traffic is important too. You're going to write about traffic.
Right. I do a lot of traffic stories. That's important. A lot of development, obviously, in DeSoto County. So with that comes traffic, and roads aren't built in a month or a year sometimes. So
it takes
there's always this ongoing effort to try to make sure the traffic flows, that people can get where they're going.
And cut-through streets are so important. We had Lee Perkins Caldwell on just last week, and she was talking about how important roads are and how we kind of have to accommodate those new neighborhoods coming in, and how people do really want to make sure they can get around town because there are so many shops opening, which is very exciting. But then there again, you need to be able to get around town when, like the traffic. So yeah, to kind of maneuver, and stories like yours really help people.
Thank you.
They do.
Thank you.
And so how long have you been with the Daily Memphian?
Well, I've been with the Daily Memphian. It started in 2018. It's an online publication, daily, and it focuses on local news.
Great.
So you won't be getting a lot of stuff you don't want to read.
Right. It just focuses on DeSoto County.
Right.
Yeah,
so
great.
I've been with them from the beginning, and I freelanced for the Daily News, which that's how the Memphian came about. And I've been covering DeSoto County a total of 13 years. This is my third time back.
So you've seen the growth, you've seen the development, and I heard you were just on TJ Case's show, Good Morning DeSoto, and you were talking about how you've been there kind of from the beginning. So you know how everything's evolved, and I'm sure that helps with your writing, and it's like storytelling.
It certainly does. I like to give people perspective so that they can kind of have the whole picture and make their own judgments about what's happening, try to get more information in there. I love to inform people, to help pass on what I am learning from talking to officials and individuals.
That's so cool, and you're reachable. You have a wonderful website. Can we talk about your website and kind of what's on your website for people to see?
Right. Well, now we have the Daily Memphian. It's www.dailymemphian.com, and you can reach me through that venue. But I also have a personal website.
Nice.
It's www.tonilepeska.com, and that's where I write about grief and healing. It's called When a Parent Dies, and that having that news writing background and having that very descriptive type and blogging experience has really poured into my news writing.
I love
that I hope it's more interesting than just a straight, dry story.
Right. Well, people can get to know you, which I love, because people always like the behind the scenes in anything. They love to learn about people, and it's kind of like an addiction. They're like, what does this person do like in their daily life, right? And I want to get to know her personally, and you've gone through stuff where you can actually share your feelings and help people, which is very, very encouraging, and it's kind of like a first perspective. Right. So, yeah, I think it's very brave of you too, to share your feelings and just put it out there, because you just never know who it's going to touch and heal as well.
Well, I really want to encourage and empower people. And I do that in news writing too, in a sense, even though we're trying to be very unbiased and that sort of thing. There's still a purpose, and you want your reader to get something out of it more than information, to take that information. For my personal brand, I want to empower them and encourage them to navigate grief and get toward healing. And for writing in the newspaper, I want them to be able to navigate their community, navigate their government, be a part of that.
That's wonderful, and you're a voice. You're a voice that is out there, that is available for people, which I love. And let's talk about the evolution of the newspaper, because it used to be hard copy, and it still is. But the Daily Memphian is digital. And let's talk about the importance of that, because people are always on their phones, right? They love the information now, and if they forget their paper at home when they go to the office, it's important to have it with you, that news always available.
Exactly. So online is apparently the future. I was one of the hard copy people. I know if you're a hard copy person, it's
hard to change.
It's hard to change. But there's so much information out there online, and I love to. I'm a Googler. I love to Google things.
Me too.
And our paper.
When I don't know something, I'm like, please help me Google.
Yes.
Yes.
And our paper's online, but what the beauty of it is. You can get some parts of it free.
Okay.
You can get that delivered to your inbox. You can take your notifications, and you can get specific parts of it delivered.
So neat.
You can control how often it's delivered. And you have the local news. So you Memphis news, and you have DeSoto news. And you can look up past articles, whereas if you had just a newspaper, then you would have to go rummage around and find it under the cat litter or something, or wherever you put it in the fish or whatever.
Yes, all that past news. But when it's digital, you can you go back to previous weeks, previous days?
Okay. Definitely. Yes, you can do searches, keyword searches.
Nice.
Look up last week's specific by politics or suburbs or crime or DeSoto, neighborhoods. And
you can print it out, which I love.
You can.
You did a story recently on TJ Cates and his new position with Horn Lake, which is really exciting. But he actually printed it out and framed it because he said, "This is such a great story."
That's delightful.
Yeah, thank you, Toni. I know. So it's wonderful what you're doing. You're really connecting people, and you're giving people the news in real time and digitally, which is so important to have because you can always keep it with you and you can look back. And again, print it out if you ever need to print it out, because sometimes people do like hard copy, so they can just in their office, in their home, personal computer, they can print it out themselves.
Exactly.
How cool is that? Yeah,
I love it.
That's so neat. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. I just started this show, and people like you really make it so special. And it's because I'm like, wow, she's an important lady here, this girl. So thank you so much for being a part of the show. This has been Jill Santibanez with Business Women of DeSoto, and we have
Toni Lepeska with the Daily Memphian.